So thank you, Honorable Chair, Mr. Amos Lugolobi, Honorable Minister of State and Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Uganda. And also I'd like to congratulate the keynote speaker, Dr. Mohammad Sheikh, who did an excellent presentation regarding the story of the Kenya. Well, we already got experience from Vietnam, even for the India. I think Professor T.B. Shekhar already said most of my words. I am a demographer. I work at Dhaka University as a teacher as well as a learner. What I think, that our objective to identify demographic dividend and sustainable development to make the linkages there. So regarding that, first, I think we need to find out first demographic dividend, also second demographic dividend for the South-South SC countries. So we already have experience of both kind of experience. Some countries are already experiencing second demographic transitions, and most other countries are going to have or already in first demographic dividend. So definitely policy approach strategies should be different from getting the benefits from first demographic dividend and how to accelerate the second demographic dividend, those South-South collaborative countries. Regarding the four questions, what already identified in this panel, I was not making any PowerPoint presentation, but I was thinking that what keynote presentations, then we will go out through our spontaneous point of view. So my point of view, if I would like to say that we already got to know the demographic dividend model. The keynote speaker rightly showed this model, but my concern is South-South collaborative countries, are they rightly investing properly on those variables? Let's coming to the health, one of the most important variable for human capital. What's about the education? These two are the human capital generations. And unfortunately, I found that investment on health and education are sufficiently quite low. I would say, I'm not saying sufficiently, I would say inadequate in terms of investing. So we need to focus that how we will advocate more funding or more advocate on health and education. That is one of the key aspects what I'm thinking. Right, we know that, working age population is bigger at this moment in context of Bangladesh, because I don't want to show the whole story, but definitely Bangladesh is also currently have 65.23% population are working age population, those who are 15 to 64 based on the latest population census 2022. This is a big number, big opportunity, and also big challenge unless we make them effective, productive labor force in the market economy or whatever we say in this current global society and to achieving those goals. So let's coming how South-South collaboration or SST, that means the triangular collaborations, I think those countries, we need to find out the homogeneity of those countries there. And then we need to look for the policy advocacy in terms of the governments to advocate that you have to invest on those areas and one kind of making liable to them. And then quality, also in terms of particularly I'm saying for budgetary allocation in terms of health and education, that is my one priority, what we think. Secondly, coming to the regional integrations, that's also needed, and we need to focus out subgroups of population. Which groups of population are much more vulnerable, and that can hamper to achieve the demographic dividend. Like for Bangladesh context, I'm saying that, we have impressive social development we did during the last 53 years. Also, we have an impressive economic performance we did, but at the same time, we have also different story like child marriage or early teenage pregnancy. This is quite very high in South Asian countries. There's one concern. Secondly, if we think about the unmet need for family planning, that is also quite high, and particularly for the 15 to 19 age group. And what's about the youth group, age 15 to 24? That's neither in education, nor in employment, nor in training. Latest population census was showing that 34%. But what's about the sample survey? Another one is BBS Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics very recently released one report. It's like sample vital statistics 2023. It was showing that around 38.88%, that means close to 40% are those who are neither in education, nor in employment, nor in training. So this is not a good story. We have to make them as a human capital. How we will do then? So we sharply reduce unemployment rate of the overall population, but if we think about the youth unemployment, it's still very high, it's about 8%. So thinking about the without employment generation, so regarding the South-South collaborative country, I think we need technology transfer for particularly health sector investment, or family planning, capacity building, or already some suggestions came out from TB Shekhar. I think also best practices we need to find out. What's the Vietnam best experience? What's about the Thailand's experience? What's about the China's experience there? So we need to make a comparison. Technical support is very important. Also sharing the experience are very important, but most important thing, funding is very important. 17 SDG goal. We are only 6 years ahead, and 248 indicators, 17 goals, 169 targets. But if you think about what's the data availability of those things to measure the progress or regarding the disaggregated analysis of this population, I found that the story is not so good, but still we are improving, and we need to think about the South-South collaborations, that how to improve the data availability, and so that we can make them, and not only availability, quality data is very important to me. Sometimes we think that misrepresentation of the data also makes some kind of projections, like for, I don't have more time, only 6 minutes I think allocated, so I can show you that different data shows the different story of demographic dividend and something like that. But let me concluding my part, what I'm thinking as a demographer, what I think that we need to think about the future population cohort too, because we need to think about the second demographic dividend. After 2035 or 37, Bangladesh will have another figure or scenario. The dependency ratio will be increased at that time. Older population at this moment among the South Asian countries, one of the fastest growing older population is dying. And now the decade of healthy aging is going on. By 2030 almost, we are going to experience the aging society, but age society it will be in 2049. So have we prepared those things, how we will go for that one? So in that context, I'm just thinking that, well, we have different examples in literature, different country experiences we have. We need to make a comparison. We need to do short-term policies with short-term impact, and also think we need to policies with long-term impact. And also we have to think that creation an opportunity what doesn't already have yet for South-South collaboration country, we need to help them how to make this opportunity create. Bangladesh got this opportunity, but need to cultivate. We have an around 65% population, that's fine. But if we don't use them, if we can't make them human capital, then it will be another disaster in that way. So finally, what I would like to mention that, well, young people and older people, they have different needs, and different kinds of investment are also needed there. So regarding my context, I would say that we need to think about the need, not in education, employment and training. That should be the more focused, how youth unemployment should be reduced. Female labor force participation is very critical. I don't know the Indian story, but in Bangladesh, I found that male and female is just like half, and most of them are informal labor market are happening there. So what's about the South-South collaboration countries there? So we need to think about more female labor force participation than gender dividend. It can be possible, but no doubt, Tibet education is very priority. We don't need to make more accelerated, graduated like that, but we need focusing on technical, vocational education to address them. And then also thinking about the future technology, how technology is impacting that way. So in context of Bangladesh, I think, or even for the African countries, because we have a 3-0 commitment in Kenya and Nairobi. I was there also, we did the commitments there. But what's happening now? Child marriage, in some cases, we found that increasing. Teenage pregnancy still is a major concern. Maternal death is also a matter of concern. We think about its declining, but also need to think about the reliable quality data. We also look for that one. So finally, what I'm thinking, even unmet need for family planning is also critical concern. So whether we have to achieve 3-0 commitments, but no doubt we have the progress, we don't be disappointed, but we have to think about the older population's vulnerability too, regarding the health system should be strengthened, even social safety net, even for the Bangladesh labor market, I can see that 31% of the people, those who are age 65 and above, are working in the labor market. So that means if we make them healthy, if they are capable, if their healthy life expectancy increasing, that means they can also be a capital, human capital for the coming time. They can also contribute to the economy. So finally, what I would like to mention that we are in the third stage of demographic transitions. Definitely South-South collaborative countries, most of them are in third phase. So what's happening then? So the countries, those who haven't reached the replacement level of total fertility yet, we need to help them to go there. And then also you have to think increasing contraception use, and also you have to think about reducing infant child mortality, increasing life expectancy and birth, and we need to think about the opportunity. Demographic dividend is a hypothetical matter. It doesn't mean that we are getting the maximum benefits. What I thinking that we need planned investment in health and education to make them or more create opportunity of the jobs, so need more FDI, more funding opportunities needed. So if they have no foreign direct investment or local investment, then employment cannot be generated there. So in that case, South-South collaborative countries, I think they can help to each other and they can make a trade policy among them so that demand can create. So 3D is very important. One is demographic dividend, another is democracy, another is demand. So 3D, we have to think in that way. So I'm hopeful to that we will address high prevalence of child marriage, because it's due to child marriage, half of the SDG goal cannot be achieved, because if you make a linkage those there, you will find a difference. And then we cannot achieve the demographic dividend, because due to child marriage, drop out from the school, drop out from this formal labor market, and then our economic empowerment cannot be happen, and family making, decision making will be interrupted. So due to just child marriage, we may not get the gender dividend or demographic dividend. So like this, what we think that our 3.0 commitment should be the most priority, including gender-based violence regarding this, and we have to make a linkage there, but definitely we have to look through the future, coming times. So development, what we are thinking that development is always linked with rights and choices. That's the motto of ICPD in 1994. Now we are celebrating 30 years of ICPD, and after just 2 days, we will celebrate World Population Day 2024. You know that what's the message of the World Population Day? They are thinking about the inclusive data. Inclusive means we have to think that we have to embrace the power of the inclusive data towards a resilient and equitable future. So I'm closing now. So we think that the developing countries or South-South collaborating countries, we need to exchange more quality data, how to improve that. And based on the quality data, we will generate policies, suggestions, and formulate. For that, I may propose that Center for South-South Excellence can be established to think about this population development in coming times. But we will all together, we will work together, and we will think for a better South-South collaboration, triangular countries. Thank you very much for giving this attention.
Thank you so much.